Yay, get it right. Good evening. Welcome to Midweek Deals. Welcome to everyone who's watching us on Facebook. Welcome to everyone. I'm looking over there because that's where I can see YouTube. To everyone's watching us on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube and you can comment and say hello, because it'd be great to see who's watching on there because I can now see the comments. But on to Facebook. Good evening, Erica and Craftaholic. I still love that word name. Yvonne, Sarah Jane, Brenda, Linda, and our wonderful Janet McRae, and lots of others saying hi on there. So good evening, welcome to Midweek Deals. Welcome. It's Wednesday night, it's 6 o'clock, and you're here live in the Craft Cave. And I'm here for 2 hours. So we've got an hour first of amazing half price or less. Actually, both of the bundles tonight are less than half price. Only by a bit, but it's still less than half price. So we've got, good evening, Emma Woods, 3,427. I like that. Jackie Giles, One Tree Ball. Is that One Tree Ball Mint? Deborah Smith, hello. So yeah, hello if you're watching. So what are we on about? What are midweek deals? Midweek deals are a brilliant chance for us at the Art of Craft and Crafts too to come together and give you some amazing deals on usually products that you won't have seen, things that we've got in the annals of the warehouse that are absolutely beautiful. And it might be on some of them because there's a brilliant clearance section, and I must make sure to point out, please have a look in the clearance section. There is an absolutely brilliant clearance section. Have a look in there. And that has some amazing special less than half price offers in there, as well as the specials we've got tonight. So I've put a link on, let's put it right, yep, which takes you to the page, and I will show you through the page and through the clearance page in a little bit. Let me just grab my samples from behind me. I've got so many bits prepped and ready to show you. So on to our first bundle. So this is, and they're all, as you can see on the screen, it says limited. Does it say limited stock? They're all limited stock. When they're gone, they're gone. Once they're sold out, they are sold out. We cannot get any more of these. These are while they're available. So it's one to quickly get hold of as you possibly can. I know that our Hazel messaged already to say she'd already ordered both bundles. So both bundles will actually... Oh, it's Rob. Hello, Rob. I don't know why YouTube suddenly changed it. Everyone's names completely changed names. It's giving us @ symbols and stuff. It's YouTube, isn't it? So you've got a limited time on these. So the first option's going to take you on to the overhead. And let's turn that silly face off. You don't need to see me all the time. You've got 3 die sets in here. Now, this first one is really, really clever. Let me see if I can show you the sample. Look at that. That is the most perfect detailed wreath ever. But it's made up of 2 parts of that die. I'm going to demo this because it's really clever. But I don't know if you can see, the die itself has stars on either end. When they're rotated, those stars line up together to give us, so it lines up perfectly as a whole wreath from half size. It's brilliant. And there's even a little joining piece you can put in to sort of give like a little topper and things, or a little bottom piece. So clever how it builds up. So I'm going to show you how we build that one up. So that's your first one. All 3 of these die sets are just £11. It's crazy, and you're getting all 3. Then you're getting the sentiment again that I've used there, or I've used here. Love this. Love this sentiment, the Merry Christmas, and it will sit on top of a card. I'm going to cut that for you just in a card blank to show you how we actually do that. In fact, let me make sure I've got that out, because I'd forgotten that I promised myself I was going to do that. Make sure that's wide enough. It's not. I need a bigger one. Oh well. Okay, we get a bigger one. There we go. Fine. Right. So, sorry, here's me wattling on all these things I've done and prepped. So you've got there the brilliant one. This is all from the Frosty Ornaments collection. So you can get the entire collection for a really good price on this one. Then you've got this. This is lovely. This is the family. And this is what they've called Happy Family. And you've got like silhouettes. But just so cute. So here, I've used the silhouettes in this kind. I'm going to show you this one face on because it's just beautiful. Can you see there? You've got them. She's lifting the baby up to show it the tree. The little boy is trying to put a bauble onto the tree. I just think that's such a beautiful thing. Fantastic for if you're doing scrapbooking and things like that. So that's your first 3 dies, which is your first bundle, which is £11. So remember that, because if you add it onto your second bundle, it's going to take you over to get you into that free P&P, and you really want to be doing that because it's free P&P at £20. So our second bundle, I don't have a favourite. It would be this one if it included that beautiful Merry Christmas. I think that's a wonderful sentiment. These 2 really fab baubles. So this one is £12. So if you add both together, so you add both together, it'll only cost you £23. That will be all 6 dies sets sent to you. Free P&P anywhere in the UK because it's over £20. So it's worth doing it. So you get these 2 beautiful baubles. Here, I love this. I'm going to show you how we do this. This is a little bit of sort of an offset piece. Let me show you forward. So I'm going to demo this as well because there's a little trick in here just to make them look as if they're frosted. They're just set back a little bit. And that wreath from that first bundle, see what I mean? It's a perfect circle. So that's our 2 baubles. I've got another one here that's using... Oh, and another one. I've got a thing for baubles, you know that. But just using one of them on ribbons because they've got the holes gone through them. Absolutely beautiful. And then here, using one of the other dies in this set, the rectangle, just cut out and stuck onto blue. Love these. So, that's your first die. Sorry, gone a bit mad. Then, this one. This is the most delicate, beautiful foliage that I think I've seen. Where's that card gone? Oh, there it is. That is lovely. This is that foliage. And that beautiful little flower with the sort of got holes in the middle, but it's got holly branch with berries on. It's got almost like a filler branch in it. It's got a stunning sort of quarter circle, so it fits perfectly round a circle there. But isn't that tag fab? That's from the stamps. I've got to show you that one. I'm going to use that one again because the stamps are just gorgeous. But here, using that foliage again with those baubles, you can see it works together because it's all from the Frosty ornaments. So it's almost getting the full Frosty ornament collection for like £23 if you buy both bundles. And again on this one, look how nicely that foliage, look at the different sizes of circles it will go round. It's really clever. So it will work round a small one or a large one, exactly the same. I think it's just beautiful, that foliage. And then your third die in that is that rectangle. They've just called it rectangle ornament, but it's got a beautiful snowflake running all the way through it. But there, on this card, using the stamps, I'm going to get to the stamps. The stamps are really special. With that Merry Christmas sentiment. You see, I kind of like that, can't you? Because it's different. On a background, but it looks really, it just really works. Or as I did it here originally, where I've used some of the beautiful, and you know I'm going to have this on as a graphic. I'm always going to have the snow on because mine arrived. I've already decanted. So I've got my two extra bags. So I now can show you how the snow comes. Look how glittery it is. It's literally how it comes. And then I filled up my pot. Where are you? Have I put you somewhere still? Oh, it's there. So that's now full of two bags. But it's just beautiful, sorry. So, yes, so that's been used on that card. But this is always worth throwing in. I ordered 3. I know our Erica from Giggleswick ordered quite a lot as well. Emma Woods, question, are you feeling better, John? I am. Yeah, I'm feeling better every week. I'm a lot better than I was last week. So I won't be shortchanging you on Craft Cave this week, I promise. So that is... He says that, and then something will happen, and I will. So that is your second bundle. So you can get all of those for just £12, which is crazy, given the size of the dies that you're getting in there. And this one was more limited stock than the other one. There were less of the... I don't know if this one was a busy one, but when I checked earlier, this one, for some reason, was busier than the other one. I've got to show you a couple more. samples, just using that beautiful sentiment that's in this first bundle. That's why I say it's worth buying both of them. And we've given you the option. So rather than putting them all together and saying, all right, have all 6 for £23, we've given you the option. But that's the best way to do it, is to buy both of them. Because then you're going to be over that £20, so it's going to be free P&P. So it's effectively like getting £3 worth for nothing. So that's that one. And then there's one more little mini bundle, which you can get as well, which would take your total price up to £30, to be honest, which is still really good, which is the full paper pad. But look, it's double-sided and it's beautiful. It's all snowflakes in soft blues and beiges and greens. And then you've got, and that's lovely. Sorry. Oh, I'm going to pull that one. I really like that. I'm going to use that for something. But really beautiful papers. And again, it's called Frosty Ornaments, but you don't have to use them all for Christmas. And it's 23 sheets because the cover is the 24th sheet. So it's 23 sheets, 170 GSM, and it is double-sided. And they're 15.2 by 15.2, which to you and me is exactly 6 by 6 inches. But you can use them all year round. Love that. That and that go really nicely together. Oh, I like those. I'll do something with those. Then you're also getting the A5 stamp set. And it's, again, A5, not a small A6 one. And this is including there for £7. So this is less than half price on its own with a free paper pad thrown in. It's crazy. Rob says, because I'm remembering now, what Treebor is Rob. Question. My mum, Kate, asked if you've received her carrot and coriander soup recipe sent by messenger. If not, she said she'll send it again. I don't think I have. I don't remember seeing it, but because I've been in sort of hospital and been ill, I might not have noticed or read some of the messages because they come in on lots of different channels. But if you could ask her to send it again, that would be fab. Because I've got some carrots and some coriander actually fresh in the kitchen. I could do that tomorrow. Ooh, that'd be lovely. But this is a fab set of stamps. On here, you've got beautiful sentiments that I've not done. So, I mean, I know their sentiments. That sounds awful that I haven't got. Joy to the world. A wish for a merry everything merry. That's lovely. Everyone's a different font. Happy New Year. They've got happy holidays because we do need that these days. I know a lot of us, I use Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, Season's Greetings. But unfortunately, Happy Holidays is creeping in, but you can use it for other events. 'Tis the season, but my two favourites, number one, are this sort of seal. And I'm going to show you how we do a triple emboss with that. So I need to pull that one out. I've got so many little techniques I want to show you tonight, as well as the demos. So I'm going to pull that one out. But enjoy the best time of the year. So I used the stamps to help to make this card. But I thought that tag and that seal are just absolutely beautiful. You know, really, really work. So, and of course the paper pad here, I've used that sentiment again, but just use the paper pad on it. But doesn't it look as if I've used something fantastic? Now, what I did want to show you as well is we have added some other things on that match onto the website. So I'm trying now to connect up so I can show you the website. So here we go. Let's take that off. There we go. So this is the Facebook Live for tonight. So if you click on that, you'll be able to see here. So you can see there's our first bundle, which is the Frosty Ornaments, Merry Christmas, Happy Family and Frosty Wreath set, just £11. Then you've got our second bundle. Charles has chosen a really nice, my favourite card, that one, using the baubles and the branches and the ornaments. There's that third one I showed you, the beautiful stamps and the paper pad. Yeah. So Trevor, Rob, where should she send it to? If you send it to John Next Door official messenger page, that'd be perfect. Because I'll make sure I'm switched on to that one rather than the Art of Craft one. It's confusing. But if you did want things individually, so if you want that paper pad, you can get the paper pad on its own at £2.50. If you're wanting just the Christmas ornaments, those beautiful foliage, you can get that on its own for £4. The Merry Christmas, you might want to add that. You might want to get that first bundle there, the sort of Frosty Ornaments rectangle one, You might want to just add on that sentiment strip on its own. That's just £4 if you want to do that. There's the rectangle on its own. We don't have all of them on their own. Then Jane's added on here some of the beautiful embossing folders. And where have I put them now? Oh, here we go. I've got them out. I've got mine out here. A lot of these I've already got. But you've got the beautiful dots. You've got the snow. This one is stunning. I'm going to use this in the first demo. But you've got this beautiful Christmas snowflakes and the stencil to match it. And the snow. We've also got then the snow stencil to match that embossing folder. And then what we've done last week, what we've got left, because a lot sold out. So what we've got left, and then all of the clearance items. So it's really worth going through that section. I really want that sweet... If you're watching, Jane, stick a sweet Christmas paper pack to one side for me, because I love that. I know exactly what I'm going to use it with. I'm going to use it with the stuff we've got to go with it. So there's some beautiful dies, and there's page after page after page. It's now going to go slow, isn't it? I try and jump a page. So if you love ice skates, they've got ice skates. They've got everything. Absolutely beautiful. So it's worth spend a little bit of time and go through the website and have a look at what you fancy. And just to show you, I've got some of the folders here. I pulled out my own. That one I want to use, don't I? The snow. There's just fabulous ones. So best things first. Blah 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 blah. I'm getting very wittery. Kath Roberts says the holiday sentiment is useful for sending a card to a non-Christian friend. Yes, that's a really, really good idea. I do send out Christmas cards or cards, sort of seasonal cards to friends, and I've got friends who are Hindu and Sikh and Jewish and all different religions, and I'm always trying to send them something. So the Happy Holiday is a really good idea for that one. So what I thought I'd do is just gonna play a little bit with colour, and I wanted to do the sentiment and one of those baubles. So I've got a background made, but let's do our die cutting first. So I'm going to grab the sentiment die. So remember, this is in that first bundle. So this sentiment die is in the first bundle. And I've got a piece. I've got a very little of this left. I'm desperately waiting for it to come back. Leslie says she loves the paper pad. I love the paper pad, Leslie. I think the paper pad is fantastic quality. And what I want to do is, I don't want this to be too big a strip. So I'm just going to put it down. Probably, let's do 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to take it onto it. So as I say, I'm waiting for this ruby satin card to come back into stock. So this is like the last sheet of it I think I've got, and I've adored it all along. So I'm just going to cut that, and I want to show you how this cuts, because it's really clever, because this could be made to make your table settings or to make the top of your Christmas cards. Because what it does, look, so clever, it cuts out all of that. Let's just, and then I don't want to waste, so let me just trim. Look, that folds down there. How clever is that? So I can trim that. And the first things first. So the first idea for this is that could be the top of a card. Julie is watching, says Julie. Good for you, Julie. So it's just going to take the pieces out. I think they're really... I love this idea of a sentiment. I've got to try and do something like this. I'll steal ideas from anywhere, you know me. But yeah, remember, if you wanted this one on its own, you can get this on its own for just £4, which is a really good deal. Oh, yeah, Rob says, buy 2 pads, one to sniff. You know me so well, Rob. The pads I had on Hobbycraft, which were a really good deal, really good bargain. The reason I got samples of those was 2 samples of those was because I bought 2 pads each, one to use and one to sniff, and then a third one to use to save for best. But can you see that folds over perfectly? So that could be the top of a Christmas card, but also that could be the top of a bigger bag. If you make your own sweets or you're making things for school fairs, that is brilliant to put your sweets or your chocolates or whatever in and then staple it on. Or as our Samantha says, well, Samantha, I need your address so I can send you your goodie bag for winning. Or as our Samantha says, as a place setting for Christmas. Beautiful, really is. Now, I don't want it for that. I want it as a strip, so I'm just going to chop off the excess, just like that, because what I wanted was a nice strip of a sentiment to go onto my card and sort of hold it in place. So I'm wanting that to go on my card. And then what I'm also wanting to do is I want to cut one of the baubles. So I'm going into the second bundle here and using that beautiful bauble. And I'm going to go with the sort of pointed one like that. And what I want to do is, let me grab, sometimes best tool for the best job, when it's got lots of little bits, the brush pokey tool will save you a lot more time and be a lot quicker than your 4-in-1. Use the right tool for the right job. You know, it's something I've always tried to sort of say to myself. So let's take that down. Now I know I'm mixing both bundles, but remember, both bundles will only cost you 23. In fact, if you have all 3 bundles, it's only 30, because I think the stamps are beautiful. So my usual trick, I'm just going to cut the bauble. So I'm just using my Kaleido, and I'm just going to cut him in white. There we go. And he cuts beautifully. We'll just take all the little bits out. So getting bits out of the die is the brush, getting bits out of the die cut is the 4-in-1. So a little bit of spray glue. And then straight onto our satin card. And then I'm going to take the die and place it back on top. You know I always do this. I'm sure most of you have seen me do this a few times. So I'll place that back on top like that. And that goes right in the middle of my plates and gets run through once. And that gives me the lowest pressure possible, because all I want is the outside to cut, which it should do. You can see there, only the outside will cut, not the inside. So that way I get the perfect, almost quilted, because it's sort of embossed at the same time, bauble to go on. So I've got my bauble, made my bauble, made my Merry Christmas. You can see how beautifully they hang. That hangs from there. So I could do the same with the bell and put, you know, and have the bell down. I could, there's so many different options that you could make with this. It is absolutely crazy. And what I've also cut here is one of those beautiful rectangles to keep that snowflake pattern in there to work. So I've taken a piece of our Christmas red and I've embossed this with the, I think this is beautiful. This is that 3D embossing folder. So this is that 3D embossing folder from Nellie Snellen. Now just check on that one. Oops, the website's running a little bit slow. If the website's running slow, guys, don't worry. It will be there. So I've embossed this, and I'm now going to use the matching stencil to emboss it, to bring the pattern out, because you can't see it. But what I've got is I've already done this in another colour and I've left it on, because I wanted to show you how we don't waste ink and how we clean a stencil like this, but also make sure that we don't waste anything. So I'm going to take one of my little microfiber cloths and a little bit of my hand sanitizer. And all I'm going to do is clean the stencil. Now you have to be, this has got a lot of detail to it, so if you notice I'm doing very carefully, which is why I wanted to show you how I do this. Can you see there I get a beautiful vintage background that I'm going to use. Again, if you spend a bit more time cleaning, it's perfect, but I'm not going to. What I wanted was to just give it a little bit of almost like distressed, and then of course you trim that up, pop a sentiment, it will work beautifully. So I've made this 5x5. It's slightly smaller than the stencil, and I find that an easier way for me to put my stencil on. Also because I put it onto the magic mat. Yeah, Emma's just said the website's slow. It is going slow, guys. I've just tried to access something and I can't, but just bear with it. But because I've got the magic mat, I don't have to do that silly taping it down everywhere. Just for a bit of security, I'm just going to add a little bit each corner, but it's so much easier on the magic mat than it is on anything else. Sorry, I didn't realise that we weren't in the right place. So then I'm just going to take, hopefully, a clean brush. Let's have a look, John. Yes. And a white pigment ink. Could you spritz it with water while the paper to remove the ink and give you a background? Yes, that's one of the other ways to do it. I didn't want to create a lot of mess, Sarah Jane, but yeah, Sarah Jane's right. So I'm taking a brush because this is a very fine stencil and you want to use a brush. It won't drag it. If you use your daubers and your round foam pieces, you're going to hurt the stencil. So just using a brush, and I'm using white embossing powder. White embossing ink from Eyes Ink, which you will find on the Art of Craft website. I know it was in my latest pack, so, and I'd forgotten how beautiful it is, to be honest. There we go. But look, how much does that pop now? It's almost got a sparkle to it. It's almost got a sheen to it. And we can, because it's an embossing ink, you can add a clear embossing powder over that. So what we can do is, and I have to just clean this out, we can add a clear, when I find it, clear embossing powder over the top, because I've used a white ink. I don't need to use a white powder, and I wouldn't use a white powder because I don't want it to show in the places it's not meant to be. I don't know if that makes sense, but it only probably makes sense to me. Because it's clear, it will only show where the ink is when it heats. So at the moment, this will look a bit fuzzy, as if your screen's a bit fuzzy. As soon as we heat it, there we go, it will clear up and go like white enamel. It's a beautiful technique for embossing folders. So this embossing folder and stencil set are available on the Art of Craft on the same link as you'll find for all the dies I'm using tonight. So this is one of those it's really worth treating yourself to if you're in the mood. I never want to push anyone, but this is like, I'd forgotten I'd got this and I'm so glad now that I found it. So again, and you're actually, this is not one I've been sent, this is one I bought. So I bought this myself. So let's just check. But we end up with a beautiful, let me go forward with this and show you. Isn't it there? Got that beautiful reflection, that beautiful refractive look to it. So I'm just going to take some foam tape because that's the best way I found. Which embossing folder is that, please? I'm trying to find the link to it for you guys. Because it is on the website. There it is. So it's here on the web page. There you go. This is the embossing folder, and this is the stencil. So the folder is 719, and the stencil is 428. Remember, you can use the stencil with everything else. So you've got those two. So they are both there on that Art of Craft page. So on that link page that I normally send you. So I'll just put it on again. There we go. Yay. And what somebody said now, have I missed something? I'm always missing comments. I'm sorry, guys. I really must get my embossing folders out and play, meeting some friends for a crafty session in a week or so. So we'll get them out before that and play with them. It's a brilliant idea. If you've got a group of people getting together, embossing folders are some of the best things for you all to just play with. You'd be amazed how many techniques there are. But you'll also be amazed how many techniques you'll come up with and how many different things when you all work together that you can come up with to do with it. So all I'm doing is just adding a little bit of foam tape around, and then I'm going to pop that straight onto a slightly bigger square of white. You know me. And then I've got a bigger card blank. So let's just try and speed through this a little bit, because I do want to get a couple more demos done. So guys, if you've got any questions, again, please just put the letter Q or the word question in front and ask away, and we'll try and answer. So there we go. Da, 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 da. So that's whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube. Hello, Kirsty. Kirsty's just joined us, bless her. So just onto there, keeping that colour. But then I'm going to take, I've cut then the beautiful rectangle, and that's in this bundle we've got up. This is in that £12 bundle that we've got up. And I've just got I've taken some VersaFine Clair in strawberry, because that's the red that I'd got. And I'm just going to dust that around the outside of the shape beautifully. Like that. And then remember, you should do what I suppose usually do, which is I brought in the mat as well to do the cleaning on, and then haven't done it. So one of these alcohol wipes that I don't usually use wipes. I'm using the wipes because they were donated to me. They've gone out of date and they were going in the bin. So my friend Charmaine donated them to me rather than them go in the bin. She's been trying to give them away to people because she's like me, she hates waste. And they don't go off, but they have got a use by date on it, and you can't sell them after that date. So all I'm going to do is just build it up. It's a little bit of almost a scrapbook card, but it just works beautifully. So I'm going to put him on. I'm then going to get my sentiment, and that's going to wrap over the front. Look how rich it looks doing that. So what I want to do, because I'm doing it as a wrap, I'm going to take some power tape, and I'm just going to put a little bit of power tape on each end. There we go. Because it's strong enough, it doesn't need to be glued everywhere. Here we go. So you can see there, it's just domed on there. Then I've got my little bauble to attach on. So I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape to that. And we're going to have our bauble hanging down. And then I've actually got the Christmas greetings stick, and it just balances it out. And all I'm going to do with this is literally, I'm not going to use a die, and I'm not going to, I mean, I've even got a punch that I think would fit it. Oh, it would cut out. Oh, I could do that. Tell you what, I'm going to do something I wasn't going to do. So what I'm going to do is, if I want to cut it out, I want to cut it out by hand, and it's easy to do. Good evening, talk. John, are you going to the Craft Fair in Glasgow next week? Sorry, no, I haven't been to Glasgow in years. So what I'm going to, the Art of Craft don't go, it's just too far for them. So what I'm doing is I'm just whittering my scissors, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to get a perfect circle, because there's not a lot of point, because I won't get one. So I'm just trying to go a little bit in and out and in and out and in and out. So I get it as a little bit rough around the edge. Yeah, it works. And then when I take my brush and just put a little bit smooth on there. And then what I'm going to do is something I wasn't going to do, but we'll give it a go. So scrap of that, going to take some more of the strawberry, ink my stamp, stamp it up. Beautiful clear stamps. The stamps for these that we're using are made in the UK. So they are made here in the UK, even though this is a sort of a Netherlands company. And the stock comes from the Netherlands. It actually comes directly. It actually comes from Britain, and then it's sent there and then sent to us. So there we go. So that's better. So what I'm going to do is going to use that punch that I found. This is a Crafts 2 punch. It's just the right size. There we go. Perfect. A little bit of foam tape. And I find where I've put it. So Art of Craft will be at where is it? It's Port Sunlight on Saturday. I won't be there with them. It's just a little far for me to travel, still not being 100%. Jane's basically said I'm thankful, grateful for her. She said she doesn't want me risking it. But they will be there, but they won't be at Glasgow, unfortunately, which I think, when is that? Is that next weekend? But I think if you're wanting any of the John Next Door or Crafts 2 products, Sarah will have them from Hot Shot Crafts. We usually say Sarah has them. But you see there, how rich does that look? Just made using, love that. That rectangle is just not a die you'd ever think of. But it just works so, so beautifully. Along with that sentiment, then we've mixed in the stamp and we've mixed in that bauble. But you don't need anything else. I mean, part of me almost wants to say, oh, should there be another bauble just there because it's in pairs? But I love that working of the 3 like that. And again, if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of the glitter on if you want it to sparkle. The reason I'm doing this last is because it's a lot easier. So I'm just going all the way around the shape that can be seen. I'm going to go around the outside of my sort of stamped Christmas seal and around the outside of the bauble, just like that, and then into tidy tray and on with our beautiful snow. I'm going to keep going on about the snow. You know I am. I've got an addiction to it. And get yourself one of these sort of glass jar type things. They're so much more sustainable than using Tupperware, and they can be washed. But look at that now. How does that sparkle? That's got a real, to me, that's got an absolutely beautiful Christmas shine. Remember, the white that you're seeing from the glue will go when it dries. So I'll photograph that tomorrow, and you'll be able to see how that looks once it's been once it's dry. So that's using a combination of pretty much all of the bits, plus that beautiful stencil and embossing folder. I need to put my thing away. And then I did say I was going to show you, and this is, I love this. So this is from that first bundle, the £11 bundle. This is this really clever wreath, and I think this is really clever. So I've got a piece here of the silver, and all you need to do is you need to cut this twice. Sarah Jane says it could be done in multiple colours. It could, Sarah Jane, it could be beautiful. It would look beautiful in blue. It would look beautiful in greens. It would look beautiful in all different colours of Christmas. And it's a great one, again, very modern one to sell. You're not going to see that in the shops at all. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cutting one of each of the dies from this beautiful Frosty wreath. Very, very clever die from our Find It. So, I've already cut 2 of them anyway. So you'd want to cut it twice. I've already done that, but I want to show you exactly how clever this is. So look, let's just take him out. Really, really delicate. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. You can see there beautiful, delicate stars. Just so nice, but very clever. I mean, whoever, I don't know who draws this. Oh, it's Janine. It's Janine who draws these. Very clever designer. So can you see there? Let's try and put it against a piece of white. Can you see 2 stars? Yeah. Look what happens. To put it into a perfect wreath, this could not be any easier. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue glaze onto the stars on a second one. And then watch, that fits exactly over the top there of that star. This one fits exactly over the top of that star, and it's a perfect wreath. Find the join. You can't. You really can't. It's that cool. It's that clever. So here, let's just take this. You've got this extra piece which gives you almost a topper for it. And again, what you do is that fits exactly over one of the joins. So it gives you a little piece at the top, like a little straight piece. So clever. So again, a little bit of glue glaze on that piece. And I'm just going to affix that on there like that. Can you see? It's like having little horns. So I've cut here a circle, and I've cut, it's a 1, 2. It's a 2 3/4 inch circle I've cut out of coconut white card. I'm going to take one of the other, this might be one of the other beautiful embossing folders. This is stars. This is beautiful. So this is the stars. And this I want to deboss. So this is again another one. It is, Craftaholics just said how clever. It is really clever, isn't it, that? The fact that it works like that. I've never seen anyone who's designed one die that links up in 2 separate places like that. Kirsty, are there any stalls at Bath and West will have your stuff for sale? I've never heard of Bath and West, I'm afraid, Kirsty. I'm really sorry. I I can't tell you because I don't know that show particularly. If you can give me message me with more information on the show, I can probably find out and tell you. So, and it's really subtle, but it's worth it. Just having those beautiful debossed stars on there. Really, really pretty. And I'm then going to take my wreath that I've built, and I know where the top is because I've added that little piece on. So there we go. And how beautiful is that? I don't think I've ever seen anything so delicate. I really genuinely don't think I've seen anything that's quite so delicate. And then what I'm going to do is, again, a little bit of foam tape. And I'm just going to run that, here we go, all the way around the 4 sides. Okay, and then I'm going to grab from the other from this same bundle, I think it is. It is, yeah. Is the beautiful Happy Family. Just think this is such a nice piece to do for this entirely. So, again, a piece of silver mirror card. So I'm changing all the demos. I'm putting something completely different in the middle of this, and I just thought, oh, how beautiful would the family look? So I'm just going to put the family down onto my silver mirror card, and I'm going to cut those. So again, this is still included in this bundle at £11. Here we go. But how beautiful are these silhouettes? You can tell they've been hand drawn. They're so elegant. I think they're beautiful. So make sure I don't lose them. But I don't think I've ever seen anything so touching. And this would be a really nice one to do. You could miss out the tree. This would be a nice one to do with the family and just put the Happy Holidays stamp on and send that, like you said, to someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas in the way that, we would all celebrate Christmas. Now, for putting these on, I found the best way to do this, rather than trying to guesswork, is to use a piece of vellum. So I'm just using a piece of vellum. I'm just going to put the circle on. Let's get a pencil and trim it down. It's in Somerset in November. Yeah, it depends on who's going. Kirsty said, she's asking about the Bath and West show. Again, it's not one I've heard of. If you know which company's running it, I might know. I'll be able to find out. Where have I put scissors? Honestly, I'm going to be terrible. I stick things everywhere, all over the place. Where are we? I had pairs of scissors everywhere. No. Okay. Oh, they're right in front of me. So I'm just cutting. There we go. Piece of vellum. I'm going to pop my circle on and just roughly pencil mark where it is. And then I can use my glue glaze, which we know is not going to blow our vellum. Oh, Helen Louise says the website's crashed. Sorry, guys. It will come back up. Don't worry. It will come back up. And I'm just going to use Dad or Mum. It's, I don't want to be stereotypical. But since there's a ponytail, I'm assuming this is Mum, but it could be Dad with a ponytail. change the sides. There we go. Okay, I'm then going to take the foam tape off here. And again, we know where the top is because we've got that little topper. Oh, I love that. And then I'm going to have the little boy on the right hand side and the little girl on the left hand side. And again, what I would do, to be honest with this, is I would go all the way around the outside and add some snow onto it. But I just think that looks beautiful. But I want to show you again. I'm just going to glue it on. And then I'm going to take the glue and I'm going all around the bottom and I'm kind of drawing with the glue. And it just creates grounding. When you've got characters, you want them to be grounded. They shouldn't float. Even if it's just grounding them in glitter, it works. Sorry, I didn't realise let me zoom it. There we go, back out a little bit. Sorry, guys. But then can you see? I just think that's really classy, elegant card. So let's go forward. There you go. Is that better? But there's no acetates. There's no shine from the window. So you've got the mom and the dad, and you could do them without the tree, but just the other two on the outside of that wreath with the snow. But it's just white and silver. But I think it's just a beautiful, classic, very elegant Christmas card that matches so well with the other one that we made earlier. Again, just love that. You're going to see me putting the crystal snow on absolutely everything. Even my, it looks so gorgeous on your normal flowers. It really does give them a completely new edge. Right, so thank you for joining me tonight. I can't believe the time's gone. Remember, I'll be back in 5 minutes time or so at 7 o'clock over on John Nexor Official with Craft Cave Live. And I'll be doing more with the release that we had on Sunday. And I will be back here on The Art of Craft on Sunday night at 6 with another small die release. It's a Christmas clock. So it's the final size. I've never done a 3. It's basically, I've done every size apart from this one, and it's got a frame maker with it, a 5.5 inch, which again is a size I haven't done before, and it's a limited stock. So that is on Sunday night, and there's a set of little snowflakes I've designed as well, especially to go with it. They are ultra limited. We don't have as many of those as we have of the clock. So the snowflakes are ultra limited, so get in early for that bundle. But we'll put it out as soon as we possibly can. What someone said there, great with lights behind. Yes, Pamela, that card would really work with lights behind. So remember tonight, we've had the first bundle with these 3 dies from this Frosty Ornaments collection at just £11, or as on top, or we can have the collection with that beautiful rectangle frame, those baubles, and the beautiful foliage. So you can have that as well for £12, or you could have the beautiful stamps and the paper pad for just £7, or you could do what I do because I'm terrible for it, and you could have all 3 for just £30 delivered to your home in the UK, free P&P. I know the website has been going off a little bit, but it will settle down, so don't worry. So you can go on, click on later, or if you're watching this on return, we'll make sure it's working for then. But as for now, take care, guys, and hopefully I'll see you in 5 minutes on Craft Cave Live. If not,